Good morning, YouTube. Today, I want to talk about why it's virtually impossible to succeed as a small YouTuber.
Can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to my channel, my name is Dan. This is my Ferrari, and usually we're talking about Ferrari stuff, doing DIY work and driving around and doing stuff like that. But every once in a while, I like to do some videos about the business side of YouTube and some of the introspection I can give you about what it's like being a small YouTube channel. And that's what this one is. This one's kind of a generic video that really is not about cars at all. So let's go inside to my computer and I want to show you some interesting data and explain to you why it's so damn hard as a YouTuber when you're very small. Moses wanted to help me out. He starts barking and whining when he's not near me. So, hey Mo. What are you doing, huh? You gonna be a good boy? You should sit on that bed. But I know you're just gonna sniff around looking for treats. There's nothing up here. Alright, so as you can see, my channel currently has just a touch over 43,000 subscribers, so it's not exactly a big channel in the scheme of things. But, it's pretty decent size. It's certainly more than 4 or 5 subscribers. It's taken me about 4 years to get here, and I've learned a lot of lessons. It's really a fascinating, weird world working on YouTube, and you kind of gotta learn how to play their algorithm to your advantage. Unfortunately, even when you play it really well, the deck is stacked against you until you get to be much larger. And let me explain to you why. So just to get a few things out of the way, this is not meant to be like a complaint or a whining video. This is just stating facts, right? So it's all about data and numbers, and it's just the reality of how it is. And I'm not trying to poo on any of the big channels. I'm not saying that they've got it easy or anything just because they're big. They still got it hard. It's a competitive, very difficult world. I think success is easier when you're large than it is when you're small. So let's talk about some of these numbers. So first of all, if you didn't know, my background is actually in software. So I ran software companies for many years. I've written software for most of the time, and then I became a CTO and actually ran the company. So I have a pretty good understanding of how software works. I have a pretty good understanding how machine learning works, which is artificial intelligence, and basically how algorithms work. And that's really all it is just algorithms. They like to put all these terms like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and whatever, but all that really is an extremely complicated algorithm. And that's really how YouTube uses its ranking system. It's just got a complicated algorithm that says certain videos should be ranked over certain videos, and we should show this video to you based on your previous watch history and so on and so on. It's all about understanding how that works and how to game that to your advantage. So I kind of classify my videos based on how they perform, just to kind of like give myself like a scoring, so to speak. I consider any video that gets under 2,000 views in the first week to be a bad video. Basically, it's a flop. Any video that gets kind of around 5,000 views, that's a pretty good video for me. That's like my bread and butter. It's a very solid number. And that's actually kind of typical for most channels. Most channels don't seem to actually get as many views as they have subscribers unless they become a huge channel, and we'll go into that in a minute. Then I've kind of got some videos that are excellent videos, and those are ones that I get more than 10,000 views in the first week. So about 25% of the size of my subscriber base watches that video. Not necessarily 25% of my subscribers, just 25% as many as I have subscribers. Then I've got videos that I consider more of like a home run, and those are videos that get over 20,000 views in the first month or so. And then finally, I've got some videos that I call my viral videos, and those are the ones that get over 100,000 views in the first month. You kind of got to look at how those different videos happen and what that means if you have a lot more subscribers and how that can really affect your channel. So what I'm going to do is explain the video life cycle and how that affects the video and how it's so important based on the size of your channel. So I'm going to show this to you on the screen right now, and we'll kind of talk about it. This is a video that I had recently that I would consider a flop. As you can see, the video only got 1,300 views in about a little over a week. Pretty poor video for me, made basically no money, got no subscribers, no one really watched it. Effectively what happened is I published that video, and even my subscribers didn't really care about the videos. People didn't watch it, it just had no interest, so it was a flop. Ultimately what that says to me is the topic of this video, the thumbnail for it, don't do that again. None of my viewers care. It's not going to be a video I want to waste my time on. So this video, as you can see, was kind of more of my bread and butter video. So this was a DIY video, what my channel is kind of all about. As you can see, it's right in the middle range for what my videos typically perform. It has about 5,000 views in a little over a week and a half. Made me a little bit of money, gained me a few subscribers. It's not really expanding beyond the reach of my normal channel, but as you can see, it's a solid video. This is kind of stuff that I like to produce, and obviously my subscribers appreciate it, and probably reaches out to a little bit beyond my subscriber base. Occasionally some other people watch it. Certainly it has the potential for getting some views later, but we're going to explain that in just a second. So So now we're looking at a video that I would consider kind of above average or an excellent video. This one is just at 1 week, already got almost 10,000 views. And if you look at the graph, you can see the initial spike is greater than my average. And so that's where having a big subscriber base really comes into play. So obviously my subscribers saw this video and wanted to watch it a lot more than most of my videos. Then what happens is, because of that, YouTube says, hey, these people are clicking on this video a lot, they're watching it a lot, so the watch rate is really good. Let's start pushing it out to some other people. And you can see that kind of happens after an initial little dip. That's usually the first night. Initially the videos do really well the first day, then overnight they kind of slow down. And the catch is, can it continue that momentum into the second day? And you can see it did carry it a little bit, but it started to slow down. But then, as you notice, around day 3, it really starts to kind of gain in traction. And this is where I consider this to be an SEO video, or it's got certain terms that are being ranked good. And so when people search for certain terms, this video starts to kind of pop up. Or if they're watching a related video, so this one's about Turo rentals and how much money did I lose, it's possible that someone else is watching a video about Turo and it shows this video in the sidebar or whatever, and they click on it at a high frequency. Obviously this video is kind of what I want to have happen on a more regular basis. This one starts to get new subscribers. You can see it's got a decent number of subscribers to watch this video, and it also picked up some good revenue, and it has the potential to go bigger later. So it's still kind of early, but already this one's a solid video. Now this video, as you can see, had a totally different trajectory. So initially my subscribers didn't seem to care about this video as much, and here's where having SEO and other terms that are important come into play so much. This is how you can grow your channel when you don't have a huge subscriber base. So as you can see, my subscribers didn't really watch that video that much in the first 24 to 48 hours, and then it slowly started to pick up and go beyond what's average for my channel. And then it had a big deflection around day 6 or so, and it even started to pick up more momentum. So what I have to assume is right around that point in time, YouTube started to say, oh, this video is very important for certain terms. It's probably something related to Ferrari and Corvette, or Ferrari versus Corvette, or something like that. I could do a little digging and find out what are the terms that are ranking for this video, and that's where it starts to become kind of important. That kind of video gets me new people, new eyeballs that aren't necessarily my subscribers to watch it. So this is an important video for my growth. Let's go take a look at what happens when you have a big hit. So this video was an absolute home run, and you can see immediately a huge number of my subscribers clicked on this video, and this is where being a big YouTuber comes into play. Imagine if I had 1 million subscribers, and even if only 10% of them click on the video, we've already got 100,000 views immediately. So YouTube's going to say, wow, that's a very important video. Over 100,000 people already watched this video. We should probably start showing this video to other people who might find it interesting. And that's where you need to have a big subscriber base. So you can see the topic of this obviously was very good. I had good click through, and people wanted to watch this, and YouTube started pushing it out to others. I picked up a decent number of subscribers. I got some good revenue. So it's expanding beyond the reaches of my channel. It's not my normal topic. It's a good video bringing in new eyeballs. So when you think about it, it's almost like fighting an 800-pound gorilla. When I'm trying to compete against channels that have millions of subscribers, it takes very little energy from their subscriber base to have their videos rank huge. So if a small percentage of my viewers like my video, it only gets a couple thousand views, YouTube doesn't really think it's all that important, so they don't really push it out to that many of people. But let's say a big channel puts out a crap video, and only 10% of their viewers watch it, they still get a huge number of views, so YouTube's still going to think that video is relevant and rank it over my video just based on sheer volume. If they get a decent hit, if let's say they 50% of their viewers watch it, you're already talking like 500,000 views and stuff, so obviously suddenly YouTube's going to rank that video very high, the algorithm's going to think it's really important, and start pushing out to more and more people. So it's easy for a big channel to get lots of views and grow more and have more people who aren't subscribers see it than it is for me. So it becomes just a sheer numbers game. When you have a small number of people watching your channel, it takes a lot more momentum and a lot more luck and oomph to go get big views. So what that means is you kind of have to have certain things that are kind of lucky happen to have your channel go big. One of them is if you can get an outside source to really push a lot of views to that video. So as you can see in this video, it initially did pretty good. It didn't do great, but then all of a sudden it took this massive jump up and just kept going and going and going. So what happened there? Well, this video was published in multiple different online articles. So Jalopnik picked it up, and a few others like Motor One picked up this video and ran articles on it. So obviously, all of a sudden, I'm getting a new influx of views from people who aren't even on YouTube. Now, YouTube thinks that that's a very good thing when you get a lot of views from an outside source, even if it's negative views, frankly. So that means suddenly YouTube's gonna start pushing this video to more and more people because it thinks, hey, this is an important video. Let's start pushing it. Now, obviously, you can see that the trend line starts to fall down as that article is no longer becoming relevant and people aren't watching it or looking at that article and clicking through to the video as much. So then it flattens out and it eventually just kind of dies. And that kind of is the behavior of most of these things, is that most videos only have a few day life cycle. They really only last about a week. After that, they tend to just go to nothing. The only exception to that is if somehow it starts to rank again for a specific search term, or if it gets picked up by an article or linked somewhere else. But short of that, it doesn't just suddenly miraculously start getting views again. It just doesn't happen. So every once in a while, I've had older videos get picked up with an article and they start getting a bunch of views. Or I've even had, for some reason, a search term becomes relevant or important again and the video starts getting views again. So for example, I have a seasonality video, which is my garage air conditioner installations. So when I installed the air conditioner in my garage, that video seems to do good every June to July. So it's very interesting because people start looking for that search term and my video starts getting clicked again. All of a sudden in the fall and in winter, obviously, no one cares about that video again. So finally, we're coming down to what I'm going to call a viral video. So this video absolutely went off the charts for my channel. Got 750,000 views in a reasonably short period of time. But if you notice, initially, it didn't get that many views compared to what it's doing later. So what happened is, initially, I published the video. My audience, my subscribers thought it was good. The click-through rate on this video was astronomically high, way more than normal. So what that told YouTube is this video is really good. Something about this video is very high. It seems to be about a week after you publish a good video. If the click-through rate remains high for a long period of time, like a week, all of a sudden YouTube starts pushing that video out to other people. And that's where you can see it all of a sudden starts to go up and up and up. And so what happened is YouTube pushed it out to more people. The click-through rate remained high, so it pushes out to more. And it keeps pushing out to more and more until finally the click-through rate starts to fall. And you can actually see that in the data. I can actually see that as long as my click-through rate remained above 20%, this video kept going like crazy. But then eventually enough people saw it or whatever, and it pushed it out to enough people that the click-through rate started to fall because they'd already seen it or didn't care or whatever. And so then it started to plateau again, and you can see now it kind of trended flat for a long period of time, but then it started to pick up again. So I think what's happening on that second little bump, as I've picked up new people who are watching my channel, new subscribers, they go through, they see this video, they're probably sorting my uploads by highest number of views. This one's up in the first few, I think it's the second most views I've got. So I click on this video again. YouTube starts to say, hey, this is still relevant, starts to push it again. When YouTube has a limited amount of real estate to recommend videos, it's not going to recommend my videos nearly as much as it does for a big channel. It just doesn't think my videos are that relevant or that important because not that many people have said, I want to see this person's content, this channel's content. So until I get to be a couple 100,000 subscribers, it's a battle of attrition. It's all about putting out as many videos as you can, trying to get those viral videos, trying to get some home runs, trying to get outside sources to link those videos to have some sort of SEO term hit. Those things are what it's all about. So you got to constantly look for videos that are not necessarily targeting my core audience. So I've already kind of got my core subscribers. They're going to watch most of my videos and hopefully enjoy most of it. But I have to then produce videos that are outside of that content by a little bit, or has a flashier title, or a little bit clickbaity sometimes, or a different thumbnail, or something that causes it to cause interest outside of my normal viewers. And that's how you start to get these rankings that are important and big enough so that YouTube will say, hey, let's show this video to other people, because ultimately, most of these videos, when you get big views, it's coming from YouTube itself. It's not coming from an external source. Yes, that can happen, and certainly when I've had these articles push these interesting videos, you do get a decent number of views from it. But even, for example, the Testarossa Dyno, only 20% of those views were from the websites. So that means still 80% of those views came from people already within the YouTube platform. And that's why it's so important to make sure that YouTube is pushing my video out to you guys and not just someone else's videos. videos. So if you have a small channel, you are basically at the mercy of three primary factors. One, click-through rate. You have to have a high click-through rate in order to get a high ranking video, which it's kind of hard to do when you don't have that many people watching your videos. The second way to do it is to hit on a good SEO term. If you get a good SEO term, you can start getting some decent amount of views through that. And a third way to do it is to have an external source link your video that's important. So unfortunately, that doesn't mean necessarily like Facebook is a good source, because everyone links their videos on Facebook. Unless a ton of people on Facebook are clicking it, it's not really that important, and YouTube doesn't really seem to care that much. If you get a high authority outside external link, for example, something like Jalopnik, that becomes a big deal. YouTube thinks that's important, and then it starts to rank your videos very high. So obviously all those things are unfortunately not in the favor of small YouTubers, because it's very hard to get articles written when you have a small channel unless you have something that's outstanding. It's hard to get a good click-through rate unless you have a bunch of subscribers, and it's hard to get a good ranking SEO term unless a bunch of people are watching your videos in the first place. All that means it's really hard as a small YouTuber to really succeed and have a good view rate on some of these videos and to have a successful channel. And you're fighting against an 800-pound gorilla in the room. Hey, do not eat the trash. You know better. Yeah, you know better. That's right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed some of these insights into the wonderful world of trying to be a successful YouTuber and how it's very challenging and quite difficult. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Give me the thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing if you're into watching DIY car stuff. That's the vast majority of what this channel is about. But even if you just like car stuff or maybe even businessy stuff, because I do talk about that occasionally, I'd appreciate if you do subscribe and hit the notification bell. Those things do help out my channel, as you just saw. They really do. So thank you to those of you that do that. We have a lot of car stuff coming your way, so you guys are going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.